Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson here at Daytona International Speedway for round 2 of the Sim Racers Asia GT Simulator Series. We've got a little over a minute left of qualifying, so we'll go through the provisional standings as they are. Currently sitting on pole position in split 1 of 2, which I might need to add today as well, as we've got 2 grids out there at the moment. But Bobby Janovic currently leading the way with a 143.2, Tim Jackson with a 143.5. No Marcus Lindemann, as far as I can tell, on the grid this week. If you're wondering where he is, don't know if he's in the other session. I don't think so. Guy Leach in 3rd place, Lewis Cagley in 4th, and Brett Woods in 5th. Victor Dravegaard in 6th place, Brett in 7th, Warren in 8th, and Lee and Gavin Sadler round out your top 10. Looks like we're having a little lunch interval early here today, as I have some bacon sandwiches just jumped in to the booth with me. Sounds good. Right, in 11th place we've got Josh, then David, Michael Ford in 11th, John King in 14th, and Matt Malone is in 15th place. It's going to be quite a long race today. The grid looks actually pretty close. I dare say we're going to see some, a crazy amount of overtaking. Daytona, obviously. We've got the oval coming into play, and huge run with the draft that we get in these GT3 cars, so I fully expect that we're going to get a lot of overtaking going on here, and maybe some huge draft packs. So the stream might be a little bit jumpy today, sorry about that. Nothing I can do from this end. Hopefully that will pick up as the bandwidth frees up coming on. Last week out Interlagos, then Marcus Lindemann, absolutely dominant, smashed the field really. Great battle further back, but we are missing quite a few names in here. Like I say, it's a bit tricky for me to tell whether they're in the other group or not. I know the I rating is limited in this one. Let me just have a very quick look just to see if the other session holds a bunch of the other drivers. Maybe we'll switch over to that one. I'm not sure. It's very difficult to know what's going on with the 2 sessions at the same time at the moment. Hopefully moving forward we'll have a couple of different broadcasts running, so we can cover both actions, something myself and Mark obviously need to talk about going further, and perhaps get another broadcaster on board. But yep, let's just have a very quick look to see who's in the other session right now, just while everybody just takes 5 for their putting their race sets up and all that kind of good stuff. No, this definitely looks like the one we want to be in. No Lindemann over in the other session. So, right, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes just while the sessions are finishing up, and I will be back for you for the start of this race. have to say that interval was quite tasty indeed. On board, looking at our pole position sitter, then Bobby Yanovich, alongside him, Tim Jackson. It'll be a great race here at Daytona. Weather conditions look rather ideal for racing, I would have to say. A little bit of cloud cover out there. 16 kilometers an hour wind, so could get a little bit of crosswind here and there that might cause a few issues. 45-minute race then here today. Just looking at the temperatures, 18 degrees C air temp, so pretty cold out there, you have to say, and 33 degree track temp, so I think the tyres are going to last a long time, so definitely we'll see people opting to just take fuel, I think, like we did at Interlagos. Daytona not known to be that heavy on the tyres, and of course the big straightaway sections give the tyres plenty of time to cool. That obviously brings into consideration though the tyre cure issues that we occasionally have, where you heat them up, cool them down, heat them up, cool them down, eventually they start to go off, so maybe we might see the odd driver jump for it. We know last time actually in the end it probably turned out to be the quickest option to take tyres, just you had to work for it a little bit in the pits. On board with our pole sitter then, as he works his way around, a little bit back from the pace car, just checking up the field at the moment. Saw Bobby do a great job actually last week and got himself into a reasonably strong position. Tim Jackson as well, obviously that great fight back after the mistake, was looking pretty strong, maybe potentially had the pace there for a second place. So with no Marcus around, it's definitely going to be a big fight today, I'm sure, to see who is going to take victory. The race clock pauses itself, waiting for the green flag to drop here at Daytona, just circling around the oval at the moment. It's amazing to think actually just how banked that oval is. We've been in a couple of motion sims around this track. The lean you get through there is pretty crazy, so imagine the G's when you're doing 200 mile an hour really sinks you into the seat. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's tuned in live on YouTube. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you all. Hope you have fun today watching this. Cheer on your fellow sim racers. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for me. It does me great deeds. Through the chicane, I dare say we're going to see a lot of overtaking through here today. Definitely one of the best overtaking spots. Also into turn 1 as well. That great run you get after this chicane. Very easy just to get that a little wrong and get a slow down penalty there as well, so we'll keep an eye out for that in the early laps. Big shout to all of our sponsors on the broadcast, GT Omega Racing, they keep us going, along with Leo Bodnar, and then let's not forget Mark and Sim Racers Asia, and last season's sponsor Pit Talk Asia. I'm sure we'll organise something with those again moving forward. Yeah, just as I pointed out at the start of the stream seems a little bit laggy today. I'm really not sure why that is. Some bandwidth issues that we might be having. Hopefully it will sort itself out. Normally spot on. As we're green here at Daytona for round 2 of the Sim Racers Asia series. Bobby Yanovich got away really early. Tim Jackson coming under a little bit of pressure up the inside from Paul Rogers, I think it is, sorry. No, it wasn't, sorry, Paul just looked like he'd started from the pits or something going on there. So Guy Leach it was, but Jacko holds on. Yeah, Bobby clear away as well, that little bit of pressure. Oh, that was a little wiggle there from a guy in the background. just on board with Jacko. Trying to close that gap to the leader already. Doesn't want to let Bobby get out of that draft zone. He's going to come under a little bit of pressure himself behind. We'll definitely see the difference in the straight line speed over the difference between the cars here down that back straight as well. So I did see some figures that said that the rough was actually pretty quick as well, depending on the aero levels that you have on it and compared to some of the others. But already these front four are starting to close back up together. Obviously Lewis is sitting in 4th place, who I so epically commentate cursed last week. We obviously didn't hear it because we were muted, but yeah, let's wish him all the best this time. Just 0.2 of a second behind Guy Leach now, who's starting to close it back in on Jackson. Jackson around the outside of Bobby into turn 1. I'm not sure he's going to make it stick. He's got a good drive out of there. He's got that move done. Great drive in there from Tim Jackson to take the lead. It's not even done with yet though. Bobby round the outside, late on the brakes, get a little sideways. Not going to be able to hold it this time. He's going to have to give that position up to the number 999 car of Tim Jackson. Looks like we've got Pat O'Hara into the pits. Some issue with him. Didn't see anything a bit further back, so yeah, I apologise about the lagginess. It's not a great deal I can do unless I kill the stream and start it off at a lower resolution today. What I will do is I will make sure I have a local recorded version of it that I can perhaps upload as well. Hopefully that will be nice and smooth, and we'll replace this one once it's up there. So sorry about that. Jackson then leads what is a good 7-car train there, and actually the whole field is just separated by just a few tenths of a second from each other. This is the one great thing about the Daytona circuit. Really looking forward to the 24-hour race that we've got coming up. Just got Josh Burden on your screen, sat just outside the top 10 in 11th position at the moment behind Warren Pickering. Looks like Warren Pickering might get a little run in his McLaren. Got Victor ahead of him, side by side. Pat O'Hara is moving down the order. Tim Jackson puts the fastest lap of the racing. Warren still can't get it done. There's so little difference between the straight line speeds of those two cars, but in the end Victor has to go very wide in turn 1, and Warren gets the position there. Got a couple of movers up ahead of us as well. I'm not sure quite what happened to Lewis there, but he dropped down a couple of places. But Brett Woods now is also dropping, so Brett just hung outside there of the outside of turn 3, and yeah, lost a little bit of ground there, so be a little disappointed with that because he looked like he made a couple of places on that back straight. I'm hearing some sort of contact further back. I'm not sure what that was. Got a car going very slow out wide. Again, I think that might just be a back marker. I'm not sure who that was actually. We'll try and pick that up in a moment. Yeah, sorry about that, just trying to turn a couple of things off in the background, maybe try and help improve the jumpiness of the stream today. We do push the boat out a little bit sometimes with the with 1080. It does bite us every now and again. Tim Jackson still leading Bobby Yandovich from Guy Leach, Lewis, Brett, Aaron, and then Brett Woods, Warren Pickering, Josh Borden. So definitely a few people lost some places with that contact that we heard. Warren up to 8, Josh Borden 9th, Michael Ford in 10th, Gavin Sadler 11th, David Gronell in 12th, Maluna, he's up to 13th, Victor down to 14th as well, Matt Malone up to 15th, Aaron Pearce 16th, so Terry Marwood in 17th. So huge field today. We've got 30 cars in this split, and I think there's about 28, maybe a few more in the other split as well. So no series has 80 drivers registered, but we might have just been able to all snuck in the one server this week, which would be a little shame. Dave Grunill getting very, very close to the back of Gavin Sadler for P11 this wheel. Just ahead of them, of course, we've got Michael Ford side by side with Josh Burden. Josh isn't going to be able to hold that round. That rough does just look like it has the edge as far as speed goes. Oh, a little collision there as drivers try and make their way into turn 1. This little pack's starting to lose the front runners at the moment, really. Just all the little bits of fighting that's gone on found themselves 2.5 seconds behind Warren Pickering now. And we've got someone off in the background. Who was that? That looks like Gavin Sadler. Yeah, Gavin struggling out there a bit. I think it was Gavin who went off earlier. I'm not sure. Might have been a rough, actually. But yeah, Gavin finds himself, after rejoining the circuit, in 19th place now. So back up front, Ivanovic still just the 0.4 of a second behind Jackson. They have built 1.3 second lead, however, over Guy Leach now. So Guy just starting to drop back a little bit. Himself is pulling away from Lewis. Aaron Lee still right on the coattails though of Lewis's BMW there. But we might have lost Aaron Pearce. Yeah, he's dropping out. Was in 22nd place at the time, so I'm not quite sure what's happened to him. Let's see if we can find something back on a replay. Got some side-by-side action into the chicane. Oh, did he get tagged? I'm not sure. It might have been one of those horrible netcode moments where, you know, the sim thought he got just tagged. It just sent him around into the tyre wall. He can't do nothing. Has to tow back to the pits. Race over for Aaron Pearce. Well, he should get fast tow or fast repair. Sorry, it's not a fast tow, but it's going to be about 2 minutes in the pits waiting for the car to come back for him there. So, as I said, pretty much race over and done with for him. Spoke to Mark Warmington at the start of the race. Like he's struggling, might have had some issues out there, dropped off the back of the pack. He's had 2 pit stops already, so his fastest lap was a 1:45.7, which would put him bang in the middle of the pack actually. So pace is pretty strong. Just those few issues just caught him out there. Driver we're not used to seeing way back as well. 25th place currently, Tim Ballinger. So not quite sure what's happened to Tim. So used to seeing him in that sort of top 10 position fighting. I can't see any damage, so maybe he took a fast tow. No, he hasn't been in the pits either. So yeah, some problems there from Ballinger, and just not gelling perhaps today. Did have Paul Nelson on the screen as well. He's decided to jump into the McLaren for this season. He's got a lot of damage on the rear end of that McLaren, so perhaps hurting his lap times. He's sort of mid 145s at the moment, so again, not bad time. So I'm guessing he's had some sort of spin, and that's what's pushed him back. Slowly working his way up towards George Fullerton, and Gavin Sadler ahead of him at the moment. Matt Malone side by side with Michael Ford. Tricky corner, turn 3. Not easy to go too wide through there, but a lot of individual battles going off ahead, and we've got, I think that's Josh Borden and Dave Gruniel as well, side by side into the left-hander before the back straight. And still, I think that's Matt Malone side by side. Yeah, I do apologise again about the stream quality today. It's really struggling. I'm not sure quite what the problems are, but even I think graphically there seems to be some issues. Running 2780 Ti's and still not enough horsepower to run this thing flat out, so God knows what you need nowadays. Although I do think the bandwidth is what's mainly causing the issues on the stream. Matt Malone still trying to get this position. I'll hold on to it now. Victor trying to work his way back up. Got Brett ahead as well. Oh, we're side by side. That's David Gruniel, I think, and Maluna in there as well. So great battle here actually starting to form. That's 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. Place there, all fighting. Oh, we're gonna have some contact there. Oh, that is way late from the well, we did have a great battle, that's all I can say on there. A couple of drivers just steaming in there, totally missed their braking marker, and yeah, not good. Dave Gruniel there coming off worst. He's waiting to recover back to the track. I think he's gonna get back on. Yeah, not happy with that at all, I dare say. A few drivers just yeah, a bit over ambitious in the braking zone there, we'll say. Just a little over 30 minutes left of this race to go. The race up front. Wow, okay, so we've missed something major. Let's jump back, see what's happened, because it must have only just been this lap. Find out what's gone on between Tim Jackson and Bobby Jovanovic, because they're down in 5th and 6th place at the moment. So looking at Jackson at the moment, still showing in the lead at this point on the replay. Oh dear, just another one of those silly late braking manoeuvres. I don't know what that was. I just can only imagine that Jovanovic just completely missed his marker there. You know, just I was yeah, I was miles off of where he needed to brake, so complete brain failure, I'm afraid. Fortunately, both drivers able to carry on. Jackson won't be happy though, down to 7th place. Jump back live to the action now, as we've got Guy Leach taking over the lead. Lewis in 2nd place, Aaron in 3rd, Brett Woods in 4th, Jovanovic is in 5th place. Let's see if we can get close in on his car. Doesn't look like he's got too much damage, so he's definitely got away with that one, because that was a hard hit, and I've seen the meatball flag come out for them more than enough times. We'll keep an eye on what both him and Jackson's lap times are this time by, just to see if it's actually slowed them up any. Josh Borden slowly closing on the back of Maluna. Just 0.3 of a second between those guys at the moment. Yeah, Josh looking very quick through the chicane. Last time by, actually Maluna was 0.3 of a second quicker, so maybe these guys fairly equal on pace and just pulling each other around. Stay with it as Josh looks like he's going to get a run here. He's going to have to go to the high line around the outside of turn 1. We've seen this move many times already today. It's definitely doable. Just need to get that line right. So much runoff area on the outside there that you can afford to risk it. We're on board with Maluna. He's having to keep it tight. Josh around the outside. I think Maluna's got the job done. He's held on to that position. He has indeed. Matt Malone, first of the guys to jump into the pits. Seems a bit early, maybe that's a forced pit stop. Back up front, Aaron Lee getting very, very close to Guy Leach. Lee must have got past Lewis there on that previous lap. Interesting split of cars up the front as well. It's not necessarily just been dominated by the BMWs today like we'd seen in previous round. Oh well, in the previous round, sorry. He's got Lee here making a move into the chicane. Looks like it's pretty much slam dunk. Great drive out onto the oval section there. Only trouble is when you get the move done into the chicane, sometimes you don't get quite the right line. And you can find yourself getting overtaken back into turn one. Guy here getting a run in his rough. I don't think he's going to get the pass done this time. If anything, it looks like Lewis and Bobby are perhaps going to have a little fight going into one. Nothing going this time by. We've got Bobby obviously closed back up, so he's not suffering any problems whatsoever with lap times, but Jacko last time by a 147.0, so he is struggling out there. He hasn't quite got the pace. I mean, he's keeping with him 1.3 seconds, but he certainly hasn't got the pace that he had before the incident, so that's probably cost him maybe 2 or 3 tenths of a second in raw speed, so it's going to be very, very difficult for him. He's going to need to use the draft and the straight line speed of that rough to his full potential. Maybe these guys are going to need to have a little battle if he's going to get back in that fight. Luna and Josh Borden still separated by 6 tenths of a second, just behind. Just see them off popping into his screen every now and again. Let's have a look through the timing sheet. We jumped on with Paul Nelson earlier, and we'll bring him up screen just as a plane comes into land there. We've got George Fullerton just ahead of Paul. Paul up to 13th place. He was way down in 20th just 3 or 4 laps ago, so has got good pace out there. We said perhaps something had happened to him. Obviously a lot of rear damage on the back of that McLaren. And now he's really starting to close in. I can see an easy top 10 on the cards for Paul here. Have a look at the speed difference between the two as they come out of the chicane. Down this back straight, so George on your left. So very, very even. Both drivers probably getting a little bit of draft, but now that Paul gets closer, you can start to see it wind up way into the 260 kilometers an hour mark, much before. And it looks like we've got some pit stops going on as well. So Paul's going to take a couple of spots here. We've got Richard, Tim Jackson into the pits, Josh Borden into the pits, Maluna into the pits. Up front you've got Aaron has taken over the lead. Sorry, no, Aaron's still in the lead. My mistake, just confusing myself there. I clicked, saw Aaron, clicked on Guy, saw the rough. I was thinking, well, hold on a minute, something's changed here. So, but no, Guy Leach into second place. Lewis still sat there, just 8 tenths of a second behind Jovanovic as well. About similar sort of time. These guys all probably going to be coming in for a pit anytime soon, I would think. Maybe this way Jackson was able to pull away at the start, just a little bit light on fuel, so that was his strategy. Get up in front, pull away if he could, break that draft. He'd done the job, but unfortunately the incident there with Jovanovic, there's just set him right back as we're looking at Nelson having a look on Brett here up the inside, got the move done before the chicane, slam dunk, easy peasy, thank you very much. Side by side as well, into the same chicane, we got Kevin and that was Tim. Surely Tim took a little bit too much curb there. Is he going to get slowed down? Certainly has. That's cost him big time. So big mistake from what was our P2 driver earlier on. So he's had people like John King, Scott Stevens come past him with that slowdown penalty as well. So be kicking himself for that. He had he was having a little fight there with Brett, but he just didn't quite get his braking right there, and it's setting back even more. So race not going to plan at all for Jackson. Definitely had opportunities to win this race, but I think they're slipping out of his hands as the minutes tick on. Someone exiting the pits there, a few more drivers into the pits. Let's just see who has stayed out. It looks like just Guy, Lewis, John and Scott Stevens. Everybody else has just about made their way into the pits now. We've got a few battles after this as well. Jackson showing back up into 6th place. Oh god, that was close. God, I think that was George Fullerton in like a little sandwich there. Paul Nelson involved in it around the outside. Those guys still having a little fight there as well. I think Paul's going to come off first. He does indeed. Aaron Lee just 0.2 of a second, make that 0.1 of a second now. He's got the run on Scott Stevens. Scott obviously still to pit, so pretty much gives the position up. Notice he's not really racing Aaron out there, so didn't want to get involved in the fight. Jackson's just behind these guys, so actually that early pit stop might well have helped Jacko. Jacko's pit stop time 12.2 seconds, very very fast. Has he got enough fuel? I hope he has. Maybe that's the difference in tyres there, but I would have thought 5 seconds perhaps a bit short for tyres. Our 2 leaders are also into the pits. That's Aaron Lee, Guy Leach. Jacko moves past them. Those guys have spent an awful long time in the pits. That is 13. You're talking about 5 or 6 seconds that he's gained just in the pit stop time. Just to answer the question that's just come up on YouTube as well. Yes, there is a under 2K race that's running at the same time. Unfortunately, we haven't got access to that at the moment. Just yours truly here today. But hopefully, moving forward, we might be able to cover both races at the same time. Whether we do that via one stream or get a separate one, we'll see moving forward. So, yeah, testament to Mark getting all these drivers in. But the unfortunate thing is, we will unfortunately have 2 races. Moving forward with some of the smaller race circuits, so people aren't disappointed. So Jackson back up to 2nd place, just 0.8 of a second behind our leader, which is Aaron Lee. After the race pit stops filter out, so Bobby Ivanovic back up to 3rd, Lewis in 4th. Maluna has had a great run in the pit stops and finds himself in 5th place, 2.5 seconds behind Lewis at the moment. Josh Borden in 6th place, and Warren Pickering. I forgot to press the ticker and I apologise for that. We'll get that up on screen for you now. Right, just having a look at some individual battles. Oh, we've got Matt Malone, Paul Nelson. These guys have been in all sorts of battles all through this race, and Matt having to concede to Paul there. Paul in 12th place after all the pit stops have panned out. Not a great stop for Paul. It looked like he was working his way up nicely, but 18.5 seconds in the box has really hurt him when most of his competition have been around sort of 16-14 second mark. And Matt again getting a great run. Paul getting a run here on George Fullerton ahead. We're going to possibly be 3 wide. Are we into turn 1? No, Paul decides not to go for it. Matt around the outside of both drivers. Will he make it stick? I don't think he's far enough alongside, but That's George just getting a little sideways out of shape. We've got a spinner behind as well. I think that's Brett Gardet's further back, but Matt Malone round the outside of both Paul Nelson and George Fullerton. What a great move. Yeah, nothing either driver could do there. Poor George was pulling both drivers along, and Matt actually with the double draft there, and didn't get himself boxed in. Unfortunately, I think that's what Paul had. He had perhaps the speed to get up and alongside George and perhaps make that move done, but yeah, found himself just boxed in by Matt Malone. So great driving from Matt. Moves himself up into 11th place. It's 3 seconds behind Victor Dravegaard at the moment, so got a little bit of work to do if he's going to catch up. Last time by he was some 2 seconds faster though, so must have been a mistake from Victor. There's Cagley there in 4th place, just 0.2 of a second behind Bobby Ivanovic. Ivanovic back up into 3rd place. He's 5 seconds behind Aaron Lee, and I'm very sorry I've missed the move that puts Tim Jackson back up to the lead. Let's see if we can wind that back and see where that was. That's a little bit further back than that. Okay, so we just caught the end of it there, so it looked like a pretty orthodox move into turn 1, got the run, and yeah, just round the outside into turn 1. Back live with the action. Just hearing from Brett Wilson that had some technical issues, stopped him from racing to today, so finds himself in 31st place, so last of everyone. So not a great place, but yeah, hopefully be back next week, saying he will be. So yeah, wish you all the best of luck in any other races you do this weekend, Brett, and we'll see you next week, mate. So Jackson, let's see if he's got the pace to pull away from Lee here. Oh, a little bit of contact again in the chicane. Someone pointed out, oh, we've got Jackson with another slowdown penalty. Gets himself into the lead, and he's just going to lose. Well, he's 2.2 seconds back now, the live gap. So, yeah, he's done all the hard work again, and he unfortunately let himself down there. And what that's done is has brought Jovanovic back closer to him. I know he's having a battle with Lewis at the moment, side by side into turn 1. This will be, but still, he doesn't need to give these guys any opportunity. Maluna's closed right in on these guys as well. So while they've been fighting, Maluna's really coming through quite strong. Finds himself just 0.4 of a second behind Jovanovic, who wasn't able to get that move complete through turn 1. Right, 2.4 seconds is that gap. That is absolutely killed. Tim, he's got 15 minutes to try and make this up. I just want to quickly give a shout out now to all the drivers. Apologise, actually I won't be able to do any post-race broadcast because I need to jump straight off this and jump over to the Pro Series race that's qualifying has started now. So yeah, I do apologise for that. We'll be wrapping up the show pretty quickly, as I should just about make it in time for the start of that race. Right, what battles have we got going on track at the moment? Guy Leach, after his woeful pit stop there, 18.3 seconds, finds himself 8th place, just behind Warren Pickering. He's had some issues as well, Guy, but he was in a good strong position, 2nd place. Going into the pit stop, so yeah, all the rest of the guys just much quicker than him in the stop. So yeah, lost a lot of places there, but do love that shot as they go through the bus stop there. just looks great. That curve as well, you can really abuse it. Not too much though, as you've seen with Jackson. Getting that slowdown penalty, and actually he's on an absolute flyer of a lap, a 1:45.0 That was 1.3 seconds faster than our race leader at the moment, so I think if he can get back up to Lee, which I'm pretty sure he's going to do in perhaps 2 laps time, get away, break this draft, the race is his, most definitely, and shouldn't see any reason why he couldn't pull away. Maluna has made a move. I'm going to jump back, see if we can catch that. I get the feeling he's gone around the outside of both of them. Because, no he didn't. He got Jovanovic, I think that was before the bus stop chicane. But let's stay with it because he's going to get a run and get on by Lewis here as well, I believe. Into turn 1, looks a little bit far back. Maybe the move's already done. No, there he is, just ahead. So still got a closure speed here coming into turn 1. He's got that draft from miles back. Just a difference when you're you can't quite accelerate the same. But yeah, just that was so easy in the end for him. He was clear past, even though he was perhaps some 0.3 of a second, 3 or 4 tenths seconds back coming out of the bus stop there. Jump back live with the action, looking a bit further back. Battle between P17 and 18, cars number 15 of Tim Ballinger and Kevin Hun here, just separated by half a second. We haven't seen Kevin too much this season. Both drivers driving for the GLW team there, so interesting to see them field in different machines out there. So one in the BMW Z4 there, and the McLaren as well. Yeah, I just forgot what cars we were driving, clearly. Just a pretty much straight drag race here. Kevin's going to get a little bit of draft, of course, on that high side. Teammate just dipping down underneath the apron, and actually looks like he's coming into the pits this time by. So Ballinger has been in the pits once. I'm not really sure why he's pitting again. Got a little shout out on the YouTube for Victor. Let's just check in with him, see how he's doing out there. So currently sitting in 12th place. Who's he got around him at the moment? We've got Philip Stoneman, some 7 seconds back, so no real pressure from behind. Philip must have just made a move as well, as he's showing 14th there, but that was last lap. We can see a crash in the background there. Not sure who that was. Michael Ford's one of them. Not sure who the other was as well. Oh, Paul Rogers again. So yeah, Paul not having the best of days, those two guys, but Paul Nelson is ahead of Victor here, just 1.5 seconds. Let's have a look at the lap times last time by as well. Actually, I have to say Paul was quite a bit quicker than Victor, some 1.1 seconds, so not looking good for Victor to close in and try and work his way up into this top 10, although he is going to get rewarded with a position here with Paul Rogers losing a place. Sorry. Actually, no, he's just going to jump back up into his 12th. So bit weird as the timing screen picks up the fast toes and dumps them back in ahead of all the leaders. Messes with our timing for a little bit. Still, the main battle, I have to say now, really on track is between second, third, and fourth. Tim Jackson has taken a second pit stop. Maybe those early pit stops were due to a two-stopper, so me thinking the two-stop was a little funny, maybe I was a bit wrong, and actually two stops is going to be the way it is. Of course, Daytona is flat out for a good portion of this circuit and really does eat into your fuel, so Aaron Lee take over the lead. Maybe he can make it on the one stop. 17.6 second stop, sorry, compared to Jacko's 11. I did call it. Maybe Jacko wasn't going to be able to make it. We'll have to keep an eye. Maybe this is where the roughs really struggled. The fuel meant a two-stop, and the BMWs and the McLarens could just make it on the one. We'll keep an eye out though, see if anybody else jumps on in the pits. Actually, I think Maluna might have just jumped in. No, he's not. What am I talking about? He's on screen at the moment. Yeah, he stays out this time by. None of the leaders are filtering in as far as I can see. No, they all carry on. So Aaron in a very strong position at the moment. I mean, the guys are closing him in. That was 1 second that lap as well. So maybe he's conserving fuel, massively down on the fuel mixture, trying to eke this out till the end of the race. What's he got? He's probably got about 5 laps to go from this point. Say that's probably going to be a tall order, but you just don't know. It might have taken enough fuel. Matt Malone into the pits, down in 11th place. Jacko's come out 4.5 seconds behind Victor, so Victor up to 9th place. So yeah, one of our YouTube spectators will be happy with that. Yeah, Guy Leach obviously struggling as well. Second stop, he jumped in quite early. Really not mustered his pit stops today at all. Was fighting in the top 5 for a good portion of the first part of this race, and is now in 18th place. So Mark Warmington, we caught up on him. He's still trying to close in on the pack. He's doing so, but unfortunately I think it's more retirees that are going to pick up his place. So yeah, unlucky for Mark. He had the pace to have had a good race, and looking at what else has happened, I think maybe a top 10 would have been on. Yeah, just here Matt Malone had to pit for fuel as well. So definitely seems like the roughs are struggling to make it on the one stops. The BMWs and the McLarens clearly look like they're trying to make it now. Right, we've got a little battle starting to form between Philip Stoneman and Greg Godetz here. I'll say a little battle, but it looks like that's pretty much over and done with before it's before it's starting to form. So huge difference in straight line speed there. I wonder if there's some serious fuel saving, or maybe Philip's got some sort of problem that we don't know about. We've got someone slow on the inside. Who is that? I can't tell who that is actually. I'm not sure. Looking for somebody just cruising around. It's Pat O'Hara. I'm not sure if that's a fuel problem or what, but he's 6 laps down, so not really in the fight too much. So we won't dwell too much on that. Jovanovic and Cagley here still having their battle. I don't think they've been within half a second of each other for some time now, so just starting to separate out. I dare say these guys are really going to try it. So Jackson in the rough pretty much knew he was onto a bit of a loser. It's not a great deal of time behind. I mean, when you work out the gaps, it's probably, where is it? Let's have a look at the time. 29 seconds back. Without the incident that he had and a couple of slowdown penalties, I'd have said he'd have been within 10 seconds. These guys are saving fuel. He's absolutely going flat out in the 145s. They're 146s to 147s. Might well have had a chance of getting back up there with his 2-stop strategy. So yeah, he really will be cursing what's gone on. As we just had Maluna, I think, jump into the pits. Yeah, he can't make it. He needs to pit with just 5 minutes left of this race to go. Perhaps 3 laps more was all he needed. So fuel restrictions really coming into play. Aaron, of course, out there in his McLaren. So we've seen the BMWs not being able to start to make it now. So I haven't seen any McLarens in yet. So who have we got? We've got Aaron. I don't think who else is in a McLaren as well. Paul Nelson up into 6th place now. So even with that damaged car, although it looks like it's been fixed during his one and only pit stop of the race, it has indeed. When you look at the rear, we can actually see his Zixel sponsorship on the back of that. Up into 6th place, 4.8 seconds behind Richard Brookfield. I don't think we're going to see much of a battle for the lead now, though. The closure speed started to slow down a little bit. Aaron started to pick up the pace. Lewis is speeding up as well, but I think Aaron, just when he needs to just keep that gap at around the 2 second mark, just seems to pull out a reasonable, decent lap. So just 4 minutes to go here at Daytona for round 2 of the Sim Racers Asia GT Simulator Series. Alex Simpson calling your action. Brenton O'Brien will be back in a couple of weeks' time. He's having some much needed holiday, I believe. So wish him all the best, and yeah, we'll see him in a few weeks. As I said, no post-race interviews for this one, I'm afraid. We have got a duck off for the Pro Series. I'm glad that I was able to at least call it live. I will try and get a little bit more of a smoother stream up for you later, although it seems like it might have picked up the bandwidth issues. A little bit jumpy still as I'm just tuned into the stream, but yeah, a bit frustrating when that happens. Maybe we're gonna have to force ourselves back down to 720 again. Although I'm not sure it's anything to do with the stream. Looking at it, actually, it looks like a graphical problem. Daytona really sometimes does absolutely pound the requirements. I'm not really sure why, but the detail that they've gone into with the stadium just sometimes really plays hell. I always know when I've run a Daytona 500, seem to struggle. So Josh Borden and Tim Jackson just half a second apart. I think actually Jacko's just might have made a move. We've got Maluna obviously, who's come out in the pits as well, in on that back also. 7th, 8th and 9th, separated just by 1.4 seconds at the moment. I have to say Jacko is the fastest of those. He got his car repaired in that pit stop and has been the quickest driver out there ever since as well. So yeah, 1 second is the gap now. We've got 2 minutes to go. This is probably... Oh, look who's coming into the pits. Aaron Lee into the pits. That's definitely not what Aaron wanted. Just couldn't quite make it. Lewis, has he done enough in his BMW to be able to make this on one stop? Jovanovic still out there as well. He potentially is going to try and do it. He needs this lap and another if he's going to make it. Not sure he's going to do it. Paul Nelson carries on around. He moves up into, will be 4th place when it all pans out. Yes, goes through and past Aaron now. Aaron's dropping way down the order. This is 9th place for him now. Massive stop, 21.2 seconds. He's only leaving the pits now. This has absolutely killed him. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure. He didn't need to take that much fuel. Just a splash and dash. That's all he needed, in and out. Maybe he got some sort of slowdown penalty for that or not, but he'll be kicking himself. This race has not panned out as he wanted. Bobby Jovanovic 5.5 seconds behind Lewis now. Seems to be lapping very, very slow. 148.4 last time. He's trying to make it on this fuel. Needs the white flag to come out this time. We've got 45 seconds left on the clock. I think it will happen. Lewis is in the 145s last time by. He is not saving fuel. He knows he's either in this lap or he's got enough fuel in the tank. Let's keep an eye on him, see what he does. Is he going to duck in? We will get the white flag this time by. I'm almost sure of it. Doesn't sound like he's taking it easy out there. 6.6 seconds is the gap. Rich Brookfield is in 3rd place now, 13.8 seconds behind Bobby Jovanovic. This is all going to come down to fuel mileage, I'm sure of it. And around he goes, Lewis onto the final lap of the race for sure. We've got just 4 seconds left of the countdown timer. Yeah, white flag was shown indeed. Our race leader got 7.4 seconds. Jovanovic, has he pitted? No, he's decided to go on, so he's going to do it. He's got the time in hand. I mean, he's got 15 seconds over Brookfield behind him, so he can make this. He just needs to eke that fuel out. Maluna up into 4th place. We've lost Brookfield. Brookfield's had to jump into the pits. He can't quite make it. Jackson up into 3rd place. Aaron has actually recovered back. All these drivers having to duck in on the last lap as shifted everything around. Victor into the pits. Paul Nelson continues. No, he's coming out of the pits as well. But Paul Nelson couldn't make it. He's got Scott Stevens coming around. Let's jump back with our leader though. He'll be coming around down the back straight for the final time into the bus stop chicane here at Daytona. Or has he already done it? He might have already done it actually. Looking at where he is on the circuit. No, he's not. He's coming into it right now. Great drive from Lewis. Stayed in the draft of everyone throughout the race, just conserving his fuel. Did this by the numbers. Made sure he only needed the one stop. In the end, only 2 drivers, I think, managed to make it. Maybe Scott Stevens as well, if my timing screen is right. But after commentating, cursing him so dramatically last week, I am so glad that Lewis is going to take victory here at Daytona as he comes up to the finishing line for round 2 victory. Congratulations to Lewis. Bobby Ivanovic 14.7 seconds behind. He's limping it home, but he's going to do it. Tim Jackson's 12 seconds behind. He's got no chance of catching it up. He's got the momentum, has Bobby. I don't think Jacko will be too pleased that he's lost out to Bobby, but in the end that was more pit stop strategy than anything to do with that incident. But Jackson will get 3rd place, which is still a reasonably good result. He must be happy with that. I guess there was no chance of the roughs making it. They were in so early, so knew there was no point in trying to even attempt it. Last battle on track. It's 2 McLarens. There's no way Paul's going to get a run on Warren, just too far back. Half a second. It's going to close into maybe 4/10 as they cross the line, as indeed. But no, they're as they were. Just wait for the last of the cars just to come across the line, and we'll run through the final standings, and then I will have to wrap this stream up very quickly, I'm afraid. As Mark coming into the chicane for the final time. I think that'll be a slow down penalty as well. Just one of the drivers who's perhaps finished taking out Mark there, who hadn't finished. Yeah, not so sure about that. I won't get a replay of that because I really am sorry that I have got to jump off straight after this one. Just wait for Mark to finish so we can get the final classifications up on screen. And he does indeed cross the line. So Lewis Cagley, 1st place by 14.9, 2nd Bobby Ivanovic, Tim Jackson, Maluna, great drive actually, recovered up, well didn't recover, just worked his way through up to 4th, he was way back in qualifying. Aaron Lee, Richard Brookford, Warren Pickering, Paul Nelson, Scott Stevens, Victor come across in 10th place. We have Matt Malone, John King, Guy Leach, George Fullerton, Tim Ballinger, Josh Burden, Brett Garrett's, Mark Warmington, Philip Stoneman and Kevin Hung in 20th, and we'll quickly flip through those last of the standings. Once again, I'm very sorry to cut the stream off very quickly. I need to shoot and run for the Pro Series, but we'll be back next week. I will try and get some interviews in, then maybe even before the race speak to the guys running a practice session. But from Alex Simpson and the Sim Racers Asia Round 2 at Daytona, it's a goodbye from us.